Welcome to On Sound Gaming's review of Ultimate Hockey Team on NHL 21 by EA Sports. So the game is a really great title. Once again, I've been playing the genre of NHL games by EA Sports since the 90s, so I'm a bit of an expert. And of course, you can see here the many different game modes that you can play in. We're showing a feature of the Be a Pro, where you start as a junior or wherever you want, and work your way up to, winning the Memorial Cup, like the One-Side Attack did in this video. Then, you get drafted to the NHL, and hopefully first overall. And then you go on to have a wonderful career, etc., etc., etc. But let's face it, the game for the Ultimate Online experience, that's why they call it that, is the Ultimate Team, Hockey Ultimate Team, or HUT. And so the Pont Sounders is going to be our team. And once we get the abbreviation figured out, PWN, we get to open our starter pack. So basically, if you played already before, you'll know how this works. If you haven't, I'll tell you a little bit about it. You get to pick a team that you want to start with. We picked the Maple Leafs, so you get some general stuff from them, and then you get a bunch of mediocre players, a lot of bronze stuff. Just as a starter, you can quickly upgrade these through gameplay and buying packs, etc. To me, the cards are still a little hard to read. I think they could have made things like the position and just general information about the player. Maybe their synergies a little more obvious in the cards, and maybe a little less focus on the artwork, although the artwork is nice. As you get through the pack, you can see here the players start to get better and better. And then you get 3 relatively decent gold players from the team that you chose. And for some reason, I knew we were going to get Andreas Janssen. I even told told Austin Monster this. And so then you get Kyle Clifford, Tyson Barrie, decent golds, and you get to go ahead and build your team. So you can just quickly generate your lineup, and you get another pack here automatically every day. So you got your general cards, a few coins, then your collector's items that you can trade in later for better cards. So we're going to go ahead and have a look around the interface. First of all, you can see, because we've been playing for many years now, we get a ton of loyalty packs. And let's face it, when you're playing HUT, opening the packs is one of the what I consider to be the best parts. So basically, we're going to show most of the pack openings here so that you can get a sense for what the packs look like. We're going to speed things up a little so it doesn't take too terribly long. But then we can also see all the different types of cards that are available here, such as the jerseys, which you can use to customize your team, and numbers, which you can use to customize your players, the different players themselves that you can use to add to your team or trade for other players' cards. Now, one thing you'll notice as we're going through the cards, especially if you've played before, is that they no longer appear to have the contract cards or the injury cards. So basically, from what I can see, they've taken that out of the game, which, maybe some people just found it unnecessary or time consuming to always have to deal with your contracts and your injury buyouts. But on the same token, maybe also it's just was a little bit redundant because you could get so many of those cards out of the packs that generally you didn't really need them very often unless you were really playing a lot of games with the same team every day. So the different packs that are available here, the starter loyalty packs have a lot of cards in them, and right now I'm wishing we had ran this a little faster than 2.5 times speed. But that's okay, because like I say, it really comes down to pack opening. And with our channel, you may, if you go to our YouTube site, which is Pont Sound Productions on YouTube, you will see that we do real life pack opening as well. So we open very expensive boxes of real hockey cards live on the air. We give a lot of them away for free. In fact, we do a lot of giveaways on this channel, and if you keep watching or follow us both on Pont Sound on Twitch and Pont Sound Productions on YouTube, you have opportunities to win things like PlayStation 5 and free hockey cards and a Wayne Gretzky rookie card and all those great things. So I don't mind taking a few minutes to talk about the channel. It's a gaming channel and a collecting channel, sports channel, variety channel. We do all kinds of fun stuff. So have a search around. If you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to get updates on our new content that we're putting out every day. And we're going to be doing a lot of video game reviews like this one, walkthroughs and reaction videos, in order to help keep you in the loop as to what's going on with today's games, especially the ones that we like to play. So you get a couple of jerseys there, retro jerseys and whatnot, and then you get to automatically fill your team here, and then you can see your overall. We start at about a 78. You get a couple of completion of objectives, which gives you a couple of free packs right off the bat. And so we're just going to crack those open here and have a quick look at who's in them. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're very good cards. This one could be better with a couple of gold cards. And we'll just pop another one here. And 75 overall, not bad. 74, maybe to make the team, maybe not. But you never know. So you can always trade in cards in this game. Basically have a look here, the different options of where you can do the exchange. The easy ones, the quick ones, are the sets. In this case, when you get into the icons, it gets you some of the best cards in the game, automatically and overall of 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Those are tough to get. You have to come up with a lot of these icon collectible cards. As if you played before, they're few and far between, or you can trade 50 gold players in for one icon collectible, which then can get you into the icon market. So also, there is some new content this year, and if you go around the user interface, you can find different ways to play. Lit versus Grit, in this case, is the monthly feature. The game, when it comes to new content here, and you can complete objectives on a daily or weekly basis in order to cash in for more coins, which then you can buy more packs. But to get the objectives completed, you have to play different games. You can play online, you can play, you go to the store and buy packs, which you can see here. There's a lot of different types of packs right now. The Lit versus Grit is the featured monthly event, and they usually come with very, very good cards. Or you can buy your Essentials cards, which is your base packs. And if you buy currency from EA Sports, you can skip the hassle of having to play the games in order to earn your cash and buy your cards. But for the purpose of this video series, we're going to play them out for a while. So here is the free pack for the monthly event, and you get a choice. Looks like Boston's Bergeron, and again the card, it's hard to read. I can see it now down the right hand side. William Nylander, who we know because we're Leafs fans. Yes, Heiskanen you can basically read because it's on a white background. We got Blake Wheeler, who I can recognize. Artemi Panarin, Speedster. then you got your Ryan Suter, gritty defenseman. So you get to choose 2 of these, which is nice because it automatically gives your overall on your team a little boost and gives you a couple players that you know you can score with, regardless of what competition you're facing in the early on game. So we're going to take Panarin, which is an obvious choice in my opinion, and I guess probably Blake Wheeler, because he can score and he's tough and he's fast. He's got the whole package. Team captain obviously for Winnipeg, and we're going to confirm those choices and then add them to the team. So then it gives you a little review of who you got. You check them out one more time. You still can't really read anything on them. Doesn't tell you much about their actual skills. Send those to the collection and go over to our actual team management site under my team, edit the lineup, and make sure that we got those guys in there so that we can be competitive when we're ready to start playing. And when you autofill those selections and all the best players that we have in our option into the categories positions, we're going to jump to a 79 overall, and I think we're more or less ready to play. Just a little lacking in goaltending right now, but maybe we can, Michael McNiven from the Onside Attack, maybe we can make up for that with some big offense. So, searching around for ways to play, we'll go to a hut challenge first, and they can be general challenges that you get all the time, or in this case we're going to try a weekday challenge from the Lit vs. Grit feature event. And we can play the Montreal Canadiens or the Edmonton Oilers. I think these are pre-chosen difficulty levels. So I'm not sure if you get to actually choose which difficulty you're playing. I think you just get it. So, yeah, let's play the Oilers. They got McDavid. Let's go straight to the ice. And tough start. We'll just ice the puck to get things going. So the gameplay mechanics, as usual, there's always a few quirks, and passes that go errant for some reason. You're not really sure why, but generally speaking, the game more or less hasn't changed since 2020. A lot of the play-by-play is the same. The mechanics, the buttons, the controls, everything is more or less the same. There's a little bit of new play-by-play, a little bit of new, I would call it, movement. Celebrations, again, the same. These are cards that you can get and add celebrations to your players, or they come with standard ones. And our big guys come off the bench in the first of the game and cash in for a goal. A nice little one-timer. So I've been playing definitely since 94, maybe 92. It's still 2 ways to score, and one is, the penultimate one-timer, or the 45-degree angle one-timer pass to the net, and the other one is to, come at the goalie and then make your quick deke to the right or left, and then shoot past the goalie, who basically glitches and doesn't move, such as that one. So, it's kind of fairly realistic relative to real life as well. I played a lot of hockey in my time, watched a lot of hockey, a lot of goals that go in are in that fashion, so it's not what I would call terribly unrealistic. It's just a little repetitive to the game of the past. There's an option now that you can move the camera while you're doing your replays afterwards. As you can see there, we modeled the shaky camera. So once again, gameplay is fairly similar. Once you choose your controls, you have many different ways to pot a few goals here. The competition's pretty light against Edmonton Oilers, so we're going to skip forward a little bit on this game. And we're looking for big wins, because in completing objectives, again in this case maybe not so much with the challenges because they don't count towards your overall tallies. But in other challenges, and there's another one, make it 8-0. You can keep a running total of your goals and your hits, passes, all that sort of stuff in order to gain currency to buy more packs. So this is very close to real life. If Edmonton was to play the Leafs, it would obviously be a giant shellacking. And once again, if we talk about the gameplay in this case, it hasn't changed a lot. People, you can win the face-offs relatively easy every time, gain control of the puck if you want, but that's why they have the online version of this game as well, because when you're playing against a real-life player and not the AI, generally speaking, you have a lot more competition. And let's just let this play out now to see if the Leafs can hold on to their 8-0 win. Okay, make it 9-0. There is a few slightly improved transitions, we'll call it. So, I mean, it doesn't seem to take quite as long to load between goals, between plays. It's much quicker to skip with, a lot of spamming of the X button or whichever button it is you've got set up to move past certain screens. The level of big hits is still the same, and the ability to pop those one-timers in is still there. So 11-0, we'll stop the bleeding here and let the game play out for the last few seconds. Edmonton is going to be heading back home with their heads down tonight, and the Leafs are getting on the plane to go back and try and get some more points. So you earned a base pack from that, completing a few objectives, and again we'll go through some cards here to see if we can get anything good. You still have the coin cards. Generally speaking, you have to get into the higher end stuff in order to get higher end players, but sometimes you can hit somebody pretty good, or get a fairly rare jersey. As usual, we send that stuff to our collection and look for a new way to play. So if we cash in our objectives quickly to see how many coins we have, if you recall, the prices on the bigger packs for better stuff is very expensive. 35,000, 50,000 coins. We are at 6,150 and after our first game, and so a new feature in the game now, in a way to play, as you can see on the screen here, is Hut Rush. There's other ways to earn your coins online, Rivals and the Hut Championship season. You can always go and cash in your sets. You can manage your teams. You can play your general games, but Hut Rush is the new one, so let's give that a shot first. We're not editing out the loading time in this case because honestly the Hut Rush biggest advantage for gameplay really is the fact that once you get into the Hut Rush user interface, the game is basically as it's described. It's a rush to play games. So you get to basically come in. You can take Lit versus Grit or Gritty's Challenge. I think Lit versus Grit is this month's feature, so it may change every month, or maybe Gritty's Challenge will change. But you draft yourself a little lineup here, and starring, of course, at center ice is Gritty. Gritty's on both teams, and Gritty's pretty good actually. He's tough, and he's got a decent shot. He can pass, and man, can he ever hit. So you get a choice here for us. I think the obvious choice, Ovi, is going to score more goals than those other guys, generally speaking. I think it's all about scoring goals here. And on defense, again, you're going to get more goals out of Paul Coffey than anybody else, I think, in defense in the history of the game. And he even had a 40-goal season one year. So tough to beat. So we're going to put Coffey and Ovechkin out there with Gritty, and then you get to choose yourself a goalie, which is obviously essential. And in this case, there's only 184 overall out of the choices. So as much as I'd like to have some of those other names, Corey Crawford has the best stats. We'll throw him in there and see how we can do against, I guess, the other Hot Rush teams. So I'm assuming that when you go to play, you can play online, and it'll be people's choices, or if you play the CPU, I believe it's also other people's choices that have just been saved. You choose your difficulty level, and then basically it doesn't take long before you're thrust into this game. And we're going to show you the load times here a little bit, just because, again, I'm stressing the nice part about the Hot Rush is that once you're in the game and you've loaded it, you don't have a lot of screens and in between period things, and even face-offs for that matter, that you have to worry about. You just play hockey and score goals and crunch Gritty. Everybody crunch Gritty, and Gritty crunch everybody else. So it's a pretty wicked little genre here in the game. I think it's a great improvement for those people that just want non-stop action, 3-on-3, and yeah, Gritty's tough. You come out first goal. Now they got one goal, but for some reason it's 2-0. So it's a little confusing at first. And if you see underneath the score clock, there is a little puck icon set up there, and Gritty scored again. And I guess we only played a 3, so sorry, game's over. We lose. So we better play again. So if you jump right back into another game, you get a chance to redeem yourself right away. So a little bit of loading there, not much. You're on the game screen, and the puck is dropping for the only time pretty much in the whole game. And there's a face-off. This time we're in black, with Gritty wearing his orange for our team. So those pucks are basically a queue, I guess. And the current puck right now that you can see highlighted on the left is just a standard puck, so it's only a 1-goal puck. You can also have blue pucks that have a negative to the other team when you score, and orange pucks that give you bonuses to your score when you score. So if we can get stop crashing people in the corner here for a few minutes and actually pop in a goal, then we'll be able to see how that works. But in the meantime, the play is just non-stop action. Giveaways, takeaways, hitting, missing. There's Gritty nailing Gritty. And I don't know who's in the suit, but he's a pretty decent little hockey player. And it's got to be a lot of work, like especially trying to get up off the ice wearing that suit after you've just been hit rather hard. Our goaltending seems to have improved. The team's ready to play this time, so we haven't lost yet, which is nice. Gritty on Gritty, and passes over to Ovi, and he's got the hot stick. I guess like in real life his team doesn't help him celebrate, so we get 1 point for that goal because it was just a standard puck. Now if you look at the clock, you can see it's updated that the 4th puck on that list is a 2 bonus, so as far as I can tell that's a 2-goal score. Or if you score, you get 2 goals. So in this case, we have to play it out. And it's a 3-minute period, which is basically, I think, even maybe the entire game, unless it's a tie, in which case it goes to maybe a little overtime or a shootout. I've seen both at this point in time. But if you like non-stop action and not a lot of whistles, and definitely, in case you haven't noticed already, no penalties, then this is a great mode for you. There's also some objectives here, so as you continue, you can see your points in the top right corner. You get points for scoring goals, you get points for making plays, one-timers, etc., etc. And then there's, if you hit the objectives, you get a bonus 10,000 points for each one of those. So as you crank up the points, here's a little look at some of the hitting action, gritty versus gritty. And then gritty just likes to crash everybody sometimes. Crunch. Gritty's hilarious, and you know, the big suit, then gets player on player too. What the hell, everybody hits everybody non-stop. As you accumulate your points in the top right corner, you know, you can add to your overall total, and you increase the tier of rewards each time that you get up the ladder. Top shelf where they keep the peanut butter for gritty. There's only a couple seconds left. This game's going to end if nobody scores, I think, anyways. And gritty misses the net. Wide open net. Just brutal hitting, non-stop. Damage, damage, damage. Damage to your ego, damage to your body. And time expires here. It looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs will beat the Ottawa Senators 2-0. Well, I stand corrected. We go to another period. So you played a 3, first of 3 wins, but I've seen the game end at less than 3. That could be based on the overtime, I guess, so we'll just try and keep an eye on how that works out here. Maybe somebody can put this game away. 3-0. And take home the big points. So if we could just get somebody to throw a couple hits here and take that puck, I think that would speed things up. No need for whistles. Now if you do have a whistle, there's no face-off, which is also nice. That's a trip, no penalty, trip, no penalty. And then drop the mic. Gritty walks away with the victory, 3-0. And you cash in your points. There's a little celebration screen here at the end where you get to see the other team crying, your team winning, and a little review of who's who. A couple of highlight reel goals here. Ovi with the one-hander, top corner, and the solo Sully. So, great game mode, great action. We're not going to show you any more full games, but basically you get a chance to rack up some points, rack up some coins quickly. There's your points. They go against your aggregate total. You can see at the bottom the bar. You get automatically get rewards. You get a pack. You get some coins as you jump. 25 to 30,000 sometimes per game. There's another game. Win 3-2. And let's see what we get out of those packs. So this is your general packs on redeemables, and so we're not going to bother with those. We're just going to look at what players we got. The Lit versus Grit, this is your collectible. So if you manage to save up a bunch of these, there's some really big rewards that you can collect. Lit versus Grit players, which I believe are mostly the 89 overalls. So we'll see if we can collect those up. And then a mini pack, which is, you know, again, not a bad reward for only playing a couple of games, racking up some points. And yeah, sometimes you can get a decent player in here, but usually you just get general stuff that you can trade in. It's constantly trading, trading, trading. So we'll have a quick look at our team here before we sign off for the day. We'll update it with all of our new players, and you can see we've hit 80 overall in the first couple hours, so not bad, a little experience to get things started, and hopefully we can be competitive. So keep an eye on the channel to find out more about how our team makes out. We're going to feature the other game modes, such as the one you're seeing here, the other Hut Rush, on the next videos. And thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy NHL 21.